Hello and good morning, everyone. So, this morning is a special occasion, given the fact that we haven't been consuming radio as a media source for a very long period of time, principally because I don't think it's particularly profitable. Also, people have moved on to consuming other media sources, Instagram Reels, TikTok, YouTube is a big one, podcast, etc. So nowadays, I suspect that radio shows aren't really that consumed, nor are they that important. What makes this particularly interesting is that when I was a kid, I used to listen to the radio, and I used to love listening to the radio, exploring music. But more than just exploring music is really getting to grips with the content behind the music, context. So it's not just listening to songs, it's also learning to understand who these people are, what other music they've written, etc. So I thought in that vein this morning I would start us off with some Disturbed. And the reason being, there's a gentleman YouTube channel, of course, one of the primary media sources I consume on a regular basis. Nick Nocturnal wrote a song in the style of Disturbed. And when I heard it, I thought to myself, man, that's probably the best Disturbed, in quotes, song I've heard in must be a decade. And he spoke very heavily of the 10,000 Fists album that that song in particular was inspired by. And, well, I mean, after hearing the song on my way to an occasion yesterday morning, I listened to some 10,000 Fists. And I decided that what we would do today is maybe start off with 10,000 Fists and a song called I'm Alive. Now, the reason why I've chosen this song is purely because as I was listening through the album, this song came up, and David Draymond's vocals, especially in the second part or the second half of the chorus, where that palm muted riff kicks in, is simply sublime. So I'm going to play the track. I'm not going to interrupt the song. I will make some comments when we're done. Enjoy.
Dishonored, and never again will I be reminded of living within the world of the jaded. They kill inspiration, it's my obligation to never again allow this to happen. Where do I begin? The choices are endless, denying the sin, my art, my redemption. I carry the torch of my fathers before me. The thing I treasure most in life cannot be taken away. There will never be a reason why I will surrender to your advice. To change myself, I'd rather die. Though they will not understand, I will make the greatest sacrifice. You can predict where the outcome lies. You'll never take me alive. I'm alive. I'm alive. I'm alive. Change again cannot be considered. I rage again, dispelling my anger. Where do I begin? The choices are endless. My art, my redemption, my only salvation. I carry the gift that I have been blessed with. My soul is adrift in oceans of madness, repairing the rift that you have created. I end on the long run, but give me your arms now. The thing I treasure most in life cannot be taken away. There will never be
Pay close attention to the part coming up. Vocals and guitar riff.
You'll never take me alive. I'm 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 alive.
God damn it. If you didn't get goosebumps with David Draymond singing over that guitar riff, singing I'm Alive, then I can't help you. In any case, what a magnificent song. And I mean, I've forgotten about this song. I've listened to it, I mean, must have been hundreds of times, since 2005 when this album came out. I actually liked the next track, Sons of Plunder, a little bit more. But yesterday, it's just one of those tracks. It just came up and it just hit right when it was supposed to. I was driving. It just hit the spot in a way that very few things can. So anyway, thank you, Nick Nocturnal, for putting Disturbed on my radar for this week. So now, maybe an interesting story. So when I was 15, I must have been 15, perhaps even younger, maybe 14, 15. It must have been 15. I was in high school, and this really good mate of mine, Gunther, and I, we were listening to MTV's Headbangers Ball one evening. I think it must have been a Friday evening, and I was sleeping over at his place, his parents' place, and a song came on the television that we'd never heard before, and it was a ripper, and one of the best tracks I've ever heard. And we jumped around. I remember we jumping around in his parents' living room, like jumping up and down to this track. It was just one of the most sort of, energetic, just one of those songs that you get taken by completely immediately. And the song was Down with the Sickness, obviously from Disturbed. So back in those days, you didn't have particularly good internet in South Africa, nor did you have access to any of these international albums. You would have to wait for them to be shipped. Then you'd have to go to a Musica or an Incredible Connection. You'd have to order the album, especially if it wasn't the major release, and especially because it was parental advisory. It was released in South Africa. So you'd get these tracks, these albums, you'd get them, you'd have to special order them. So anyway, so we did. We went to Incredible Connection, I think it was, and we ordered the Disturbed album, and we waited, because in those days you ordered and you waited for a call, or forever. Some albums still haven't arrived. Shops have closed, but still not yet. So anyway, so I'm sitting in mathematics class, and Gunther and I were sitting in the back of the class, and the teacher's going through, all the different rows, going, desk by desk to check if you've done your homework. And I had my cell phone in my top pocket of my school shirt for some reason. And just as the teacher started approaching, my phone rang. It was on silent mode, but it started ringing. So now, who calls a 15-year-old kid, right? So I check. It's not my parents' number. I don't know, but it's got a 01299 something extension, which I know was in that particular era where the Incredible Connection was. So I dared to answer the phone in mathematics class, in what must have been full view of the mathematics teacher, for them to tell me, "Hey, that Disturbed album you ordered has arrived." Anyway, I don't remember our reaction. It must have been extremely exciting, but that was the first time we ever really got, really got into Disturbed, and the new metal scene was extremely sort of, big at that stage. There was Linkin Park, there was Slipknot, and a bunch of others, but Disturbed was one of those that just, hit the spot. So I'm going to play a song off of the Sickness. And there are a couple of exceptional songs, from Voices, The Game, Stupefied, Down with the Sickness, of course. But I'm struggling to think which one is my favorite, but I'm thinking Stupefy, probably. Numb is incredible. So let's see. Right, so the track we're going to try out is Numb. And the reason why Numb is so particularly interesting to me is the vocal delivery. Again, David Draymond may not be everyone's cup of tea. I remember a friend of a friend saw them live, and he commented that David Draymond just stands up there basking in his own glory, which I think maybe, some of these rock stars, they get that sort of air of arrogance. Most of them do. And though he's earned it, I'm not a big fan of his persona. But this man can sing. And in this track, he just demonstrates how exceptional a vocalist he actually is. It's a slower track. It's not one of the most played ones. I think on Spotify it's only got 7 million plays compared to, for example, Down With The Sickness, which got 710 million plays on the same album. So let's see. I mean, this is a track that, for me specifically, it's one of those underrated ones. But the vocal delivery and the way that the song grows is just exceptional. Here it is, Numb, off of The Sickness from Disturbed.
Bleeding eye, crying eye, falling eye, bleeding eye, oh, bleeding eye, crying eye, falling eye, bleeding eye, bleeding eye. Falling down and I'm feeling nothing like nothing alive. Stopping now, I'm reaching out and I'm feeling nothing. Yeah, you created a raft within me. Now there have been several complications that have left me feeling nothing. I might say you were wrong to take it from me. You left me feeling nothing. Come on and go right, beaten down, I'm tortured now and I'm doing nothing like hunting now, I'm stalking now, I'm reaching out and I'm getting nothing. You created a raft within me. Now there have been several complications that have left me feeling nothing. I might say you were wrong to take it from me. You left me feeling nothing. Ooh, I can be a ripping and tearing and beating and growing inside of me. Ripping and tearing and beating and growing inside of me. I want this more than you know. I need this. Give it back to me. You created a raft within me. You are the cause of these horrid complications that are ripping and tearing and beating and growing inside of me. Yeah, you created a raft within me. Now there have been several complications that are ripping, tearing, beating, growing, ripping, tearing, ripping and tearing and beating and growing inside of me. I want this more than you know. I need this. Give it back to me.
Right, that was Disturbed with Numb. And again, David Draymond, his vocals, it's just phenomenal. And in the early days of Disturbed, prior to them getting really, really big, I think you can make a case for them being one of the most successful and probably one of the most approachable new metal bands of that era, and for me, still something I listen to quite frequently to this day. So sticking on the new metal theme, considering that that's where we sort of kicked things off, and it reminded me of a different occasion. I just have this image when I was around 19, I think. I drove a City Golf, a white City Golf, and I had it fitted with a I think it was a 1,200 watt amp, a couple of 6x9s, and a subwoofer, with the help of a good friend Henny, whose son is turning 2. No, it must be 3 on Saturday or yesterday. But anyway, doesn't matter. But anyway, so Henny helped me wire up my car, and that thing had probably not the clearest, but the massivest sound you can imagine. I mean, it's a small cabin. It had 1,200 watts of massive power with a subwoofer, a 12-inch subwoofer. Literally, I mean, you could hear that car come from for hundreds and hundreds of meters. And in one particular occasion, I remember there was this girl that I had some interest in, but she wasn't particularly interested in me, other than I think for the lifts I offered her going back and forth from Nile Crocodile. And Henny borrowed me an album, The Darker Side of Nonsense by Dry Kill Logic. It's the first album I encountered of theirs. And so I listened to this album, and there's, I think, I don't know if it's a single but it's just one of those tracks that comes alive when you listen to the album. It's called Rot. Now, it's exceptionally brutal. And this vocalist, whose name I actually don't know, it's just is something special. But this is like right in the heart of new metal. It was released in 2001. It's a song called Rot by Dry Kill Logic. Let's listen to it and then have a chat after.
Everything I need is not really what I want. Everything I need is not really what I want. Everything I need is not really what I wanna really, really, really wanna see you die. Everything I want to good, I've been left up to me. And everything I want to good, I've been left up to me. And everything I want to can't have been left up to me. And everything I want to good, I've been left up to. Everything I need is not really what I want. Everything I need is not really what I want. Everything I need is not really what I want. Everything I need is not really what I want. Everything I need is not really what I want. Everything I need is not really what I want. got you say that's why won't you leave me alone? I don't like you got you say that's why won't you leave me alone? I don't like you got you say that's why won't you leave me alone?
Right, that was Logic with Rot. Man, what an aggressive track. And I remember it so well. I was jamming to that. I was really sort of headbanging with that track. Exceptional, exceptional, exceptional stuff. Right, so one thing about, I would say, Logic that's particularly interesting, like uniquely interesting about Logic, is that they were one of those bands that, basically, just give me a second. They were one of those bands that transitioned away from nu metal into this metalcore era that I don't recall any bands other than Slipknot really doing. I mean, bands that were smack bang in the middle of the new metal scene, which for me, I mean, they weren't particularly as big, but I mean, their sound was really new metal. It's undoubtedly new metal. And I don't remember any other bands except for Slipknot that embraced the post-new metalcore era in any appreciable way. Not off the top of my head. Especially not in the way that Logic did. So that was from the 2001 album. 5 years later, in fact, even their next album was already very transitioned into the metalcore scene. But here's a song, the last track from Logic that I'll play this morning, that sort of exemplifies just how good their transition was. So going from that sloppy riff, sort of sloppy drum style, to something a lot more specific. Very sharp guitar, very sharp sounds. Anyway, let's listen to this next track. I think we'll do From Victim to Killer off of Logic's Of Vengeance and Violence album.
Feel the weight of the world cross the line of what could have been.
Right, that was Dry Kill Logic with From Victim to Killer. One of the things that stand out is just like the double kicks compared to the first track we listened to. A lot of double kicks, very reminiscent of the metalcore sort of style, and also a guitar solo. I mean, that's not something you really heard in the new metal scene. So, I mean, and this is just within 5 years, and that's really when the metalcore scene came alive. So, for them, yeah, it's one of those bands that disappeared too soon, and they have released some new stuff in 2019 and I think 2020, but we've yet to see a new album. So I'm not holding my breath on that one. But hopefully we do have something, and when we get it, it's actually worth our time. But yes, next up, a band that maybe a slightly different trajectory, a bit more modern. This was released in 2021, a band called Dreamshade, off of the album A Pale Blue Dot. Now, I got into Dreamshade with their Photographs. I think it's a track called Photographs. And once I just got into that track, I'd heard that they toured South Africa, and I failed to see them. And I think a couple of friends, maybe Zander and Gunther, did actually go and see them. But they're a phenomenal band, very talented. Technically, also they've got an exceptional ear for melody, in my opinion. And their 2021 album really coincided with an interesting time in my life. I suppose it was just one of those. It's a second album that I really got into. The album prior to this actually was an album I listened to a lot when I was living abroad. A song called Dreamers Don't Sleep. I don't know, it was one of those things that it was the exact length of time I needed to walk from my apartment to my office. It took about that one song length. And I used to listen to that song on repeat. But yeah, we'll get into that in a different session. But here for now, this song is called Elephant, and I think it's probably one of my favorites off of this A Pale Blue Dot. Well, they're all pretty good, but this one is better than the rest for me.
fade out. Another light to pull myself through. A new divide, I'm drawing lines that couldn't fade out. Another light to pull myself through. I'm paralyzed by the world outside. The one I can recognize, 'cause I don't feel it's mine. I'm paralyzed by the world outside. The one I can recognize, 'cause I don't feel it's mine. I'm divine, I'm drawing lines that couldn't fade out. Another light to pull myself through.
Right, that was Dreamshade with Elephant. I just like the melodies these guys come up with. It's I mean technically they're exceptional. It's great songwriting. And when I'm in the mood for something like that, it's always them. I sort of, it's my go-to melodic, technical, metal, just feel good music. Anyway, speaking of melodic, perhaps not so technical, although that's debatable. And a band introduced to me by good friend Neil Sermon, back in the day when they had ADSL, and some of us still had dial-up. I think I still had dial-up, and they had an ADSL line, a faster one, and he used to scour the internet, I presume mostly for pornography, but also for music. He shared with us the music and not the pornography. And two of the bands that he introduced me to on one of these quests was Raunchy, and the other was Bullet for My Valentine. Now, keeping with the melodic theme, there's this one album, I think it was just released at the time, or may just have been released at the time, but it was released in 2006 called Death Pop Romance. And it's one of those albums that's only got 10 tracks, and every single track is spectacular. There are no tracks to skip. They're all just incredible. But what had happened is, I don't remember exactly what happened, but I think when he wrote the CD, because back then you still burned the CDs, I think when he wrote the CD, something got jumbled up, and Farewell to Devotion, that's the 10th track on the album, was in first place. So in my mind, it's always the first track on the album, even though it's the last track on the album. So nowadays, I start the album in the 10th, by playing the 10th track, Farewell to Devotion, and then it sort of loops around and plays This Legend Forever, which is the first track of the album. So in my mind, the first or opening track of the album, Farewell to Devotion, up next. right, that was Raunchy with Farewell to Devotion, one of my all-time favorite tracks. And it's funny, I've been trying to cover that song on guitar for, for maybe 5 or 6, maybe in 10 years. I've never seen an actual cover of it, and no one has tabs available for it, so I've had to figure it out by ear. And that introduction melody is on the open B string, and I mean, given the fact that I'm not the most talented or well-versed guitar player, it took me forever to figure out. But that main riff, when it kicks in, like to this day, I can't figure out what the guy actually plays. I have some idea, and I'm not sure if one guy plays something in the left channel and someone else on the right channel, and it has like a I don't know. There's some effect I'm not hearing, but anyway, I can't figure out that bloody song. Anyway, one of my favorites of all time. Right now, with something a little bit more modern. This is a Australian band called Polaris, and I've been a huge fan of theirs since the Mortal Coil album that came out in 2017. I listened to that album on repeat maybe for 2 months. It was I would usually get up and go catch the train to the east of the Netherlands and go work in this on the German border in the winter of 2017, and the start of 2018. And it was just one of the most grim sort of places, just because it's winter in Europe. Winter in Europe is particularly grim. And then, also it's a fairly tough time in my life. And this album was just like hit the spot, right? It was extremely close to home, lyric-wise. Just the way that this album was crafted in general was exceptional. And I think The Mortal Coil probably remains one of my most listened to albums of all time, and probably one of my favorites. Anyway, so Polaris released a new album in 2023. And soon after the release of the album, actually just prior to the release of the album, their guitarist, Ryan Sue, who was a prodigy, putting covers of KSE, Killswitch Engage, on YouTube when he was 13 or something. Anyways, I was following him on YouTube when I actually discovered Polaris, that he'd become a guitarist for, I think, at the age of 16 or something. Anyway, so he died. Details as to his death at this stage, it's been a year now, is still unclear. But he was hospitalized with a bout of depression leading up to the occasion of his death. So I have a reason to suspect that it may have been suicide, although that's not been confirmed. Anyway, so this would be the last album with full songs that he has written and tracked for Polaris. The first single was called Inhumane, and it's a really, really good track. But when the album came out, I started at the beginning, and the album just didn't really speak to me, and I parked it for a couple of weeks until December of 2023. When I went to bed one night and wasn't particularly tired, got my AirPods out, put them in, I decided to listen to Inhumane, the track I know and really liked. And then, as fate would have it, the next track up was The Crossfire, which obviously 7 follows 6. And this track really stood out. In fact, the next morning I spoke to my brother-in-law and I'm like, dude, you got to hear this. The second half of this album is phenomenal. The first half I still don't like. It's got too much of the melodic singing. I don't think the bassist who does most of the melodic singing has a particularly strong voice. But the lead vocalist, I think he's called Jamie Hales. He is phenomenal. And this track, The Crossfire, I think has no clean vocals as far as I can recall. But anyway, let's listen and then catch up after the track is done.
It only leads me to wonder
Right, that was Polaris with what was that track's name? The Crossfire. Anyway, I got my shit well and truly mixed up. That was not the song I had in mind. However, I remember why I liked this song. It was not for the reasons I spoke up before I played the track. I think the song I was thinking about was something else, and we'll get back to that in some point. But why I really liked this particular track, and the reason why this one stuck, is because it reminded me a lot of While She Sleeps. That introduction, that melody, that lead melody in the beginning, has a very Sean Long-esque vibe to it. Clean guitars, sort of meandering over the riff, and then the particular track, the breakdown, where you've got those incessant kicks, like really heavy kicks, reminds me of, or reminded me, and still does remind me of Brainwashed by While She Sleeps. That breakdown in the track Brainwashed, off of the album Brainwashed, which was their second album, and in my opinion still their best, and definitely probably my favorite album of theirs. So let's listen to Brainwash and see if the similarities are at all sensible. But in any case, here's While She Sleeps with Brainwashed.
This is the resistance movement. The new life of the executed. The blacklisted soul recruitment. Brainwash. Turn it off, turn it off, turn it off. We're spilling our guts, we're spitting out blood who's left in the river. Stop struggling, struggling. Always think about the red. We're spilling our guts, we're spitting out blood who's left in the river. That's how your life line. Down to the well, bouncing, insane, insane. Trading some on differences. Keep the freedom alive, under the gun. They'll take our rights, we'll take it back again. They'll take our rights, we'll take it back again. This is a death race, just another world trade of a broken system. It's like the blind lead the blind to the wrong decisions. Possessed by the pace of life, what about the living? They're running out of blood to bury the casualties. Out of sight, out of mind. Mislead, mislead. Train us up our differences. Keep the freedom of life under the gun. Think they got rights, we'll take 'em back again. We won't fail, we'll find a way. 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 We won't fail, we'll fucking find a way. We won't fail, we'll find a way. Tell us how to think, tell us what we need. Tell us how to live, tell us who to be. As a product of the system. Turn it up, turn it up. We're being brainwashed.
Right, that was Brainwashed by While She Sleeps. So it's up to you who did it better. I still like myself the OG breakdown. I think Loz Taylor's vocal performance on that album, Brainwash specifically, is really good. They had very little of the Sean Long, and I can't remember the Redhead guy's name, doing the sort of the vocals, the melodic vocals, etc. This is the last album before they transitioned heavily into the sort of more clean vocal, chorusy, gang vocal style. They always had that, but before they started relying on that as a particular motif. I think Brainwash still remains my favorite album. Now for something a little bit more modern, so a band called Silent Planet. They're interesting. I think when Architects came out and they did that sing screaming thing, two bands followed, or at least I discovered two bands around the same time. The one was Silent Planet, and the other one I can't remember the name off the top of my head. Also had the same sort of style, and I listened to Silent Planet, and that the Everything Was Sound album was incredible, and also the night that God Slept, again, also the 2014 album was exceptional. And then they did some stuff that maybe I was in the right mind space, or maybe I'd outgrown that particular sound a bit. And then, must have been last year, they released the first single off of their new album, Super Bloom. Now, I've listened to the album, and the album in of itself has more of the prior albums that I maybe wasn't that heavily into, but it had this particular track called Antimatter, which for me, when I heard this track, I thought maybe it's a very distinct shift in their style, going from their their tried and tested formula over to including more of the electronic elements, sort of Bring Me the Horizon-esque, I suppose, and I was really excited when I heard the song. So the album, of course, didn't deliver in this style, and there was no reason to expect that it would. But this song still, I think, is as a snapshot of something, with the melodic, heavy, great production, just an exceptional track. Here's Antimatter by Silent Planet.
Barely hanging by your breath, cut the lights and make me
that was Antimatter by Silent Planet. Right, so up next, maybe the last song for the session, by a band called See Stars. Right, now, I was introduced by, I don't recall anyone specifically introducing, I recall I found the video of one of their tracks, I think Mutter Mitten, on YouTube. And I was completely blown away. It was this sort of eclectic blend of high-pitched, clean singing vocals with a lot of electronic elements, heavy guitars, great production, and then just the catchiest of melodies. I like. It's the kind of guilty pleasure band where maybe in the beginning you don't want to tell your friends, especially if you're part of a very hardcore metal community, maybe not community, group of friends who appreciate metal very deliberately, and maybe you find yourself going, if this maybe not everyone's cup of tea, it's a little bit soft around the edges. But anyway, so I discovered many years later that many of my friends have the same guilty pleasure for Icy Stars, especially Henny. I know he's very, very stoked for an electronic sort of vibe in metal. He's always been. So anyway, to end of today's session, last track would be Icy Stars, Anomaly. And this was one of my most played tracks for 2023 because I listened to the song on repeat. Of the 5 million plays it's seen, yep, a good proportion belongs to me. Here it is.
I always knew that I'd run, descending gods
Right, that was I See Stars with Anomaly. Man, that chorus melody is just electric. It is so satisfying. I remember the time I let that song into my mind in a very appreciable way was when I returned from a fundraising function where, for lack of a better word, had misplaced my discipline to stay sober. And I got home and I was just in the mood for music, and I listened to that song, over and over. Got it in my AirPods. Woke up the next morning, AirPods strewn about the bed. Anyway, that was a song that translated into that event for me. Anyway, so thank you very much for listening all the way to this part of the conversation. If you've been with us for up to now, we'll do one again next week. This is just a way for me to sort of think about music that's been exceptional over the years for me, how I got introduced, the people I shared it with, and maybe the times that it punctuated. So I'll play an outgoing track, something that maybe isn't for everyone, something that is, I would say, I'm probably the only person that I know that really likes this band, from what I could tell. I know that Henk doesn't like them because he says, I think it's a little too fiddly for his vibe. And so far, no one I know has really gotten into this band in a meaningful way. So here it is, Destrage, with a track from Are You Kidding Me? No. Are You Kidding Me? Question mark. No. A track called Purania, which is the first ever track I heard of theirs, music video on YouTube. This will be the outgoing track. Thank you for listening. Goodbye for now.
Walking on this road.
Holy shit. Sorry, I wasn't going to say anything. This was going to be the end, but I can't get over how good this band is. I mean, technically, on all fronts, it's one of the most talented bands ever. An Italian outfit, from what I can tell, 4 members, 2 guitarists, a bassist, a drummer, and a vocalist. But the bassist has departed. I can't tell when. So presumably, he was probably still around when this was recorded. So a 5-piece, 2 guitarists, 1 vocalist, and a drummer. And the drummer is exceptional. But the vocalist, I mean, his range, he has like Randy Blythe-esque, like deep vocal screams. He's got an exceptional voice for the clean singing stuff, and the stuff he does just throughout the spectrum is unique. Well, I wouldn't say unique, but it really is up there with some of the best in the world. The 2 guitarists, Matteo and Ralph, are, I mean, that's not the crazy stuff. I mean, that's a very sort of radio-friendly song. I mean, they get up to some crazy playing. In fact, I'm feeling a bit of a Destrage vibe, so I'll play a song called A Means to No End, and you can just hear, or maybe Symphony of the Ego, and you can just hear just how talented these guys actually are. Again, it's maybe not the most easy listening music, but it is absolutely one of my favorite bands. So yeah, let's do another one. If at this time you feel like you're not into Destrage, I understand. But here is Symphony of the Ego. Even the lyrics of this track specifically, but most of their tracks, is exceptional. So some of the newer albums, the 2019, The Chosen One, and the 2022, So Much, Too Much. What's the album called? Yeah, So Much, Too Much. That album, man, that's even for me, that's tough to listen to. I'm not going to lie. I've tried the album on a number of occasions. It's just very uncomfortable. The Chosen One I got into, but maybe not my favorite. A Means to No End. Yeah, this album is spectacular. Anyway, so here is Symphony of the Ego.
crystal solar ledgers we have ruled. Unite the peace of silence. I'm on the line of twisters, pixies, be quiet, listen.
Yep, that was Symphony of the Ego by Destrage. That will be it for realsies. If you're still with us, thank you. If you're long gone, we'll see you again next time.